Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Fuji Guys. Today I'm going to go through the top features of the new X70 digital camera. It's the new latest compact digital camera from Fujifilm, and we're going to go through the top features with you today. So please sit and enjoy. So the X70 is equipped with a 28mm f2.8 aperture lens with a 7-blade circular aperture. It has 7 lenses, 5 different groups. But what's important is that it's a very high quality lens. So it's matched to the sensor, so you're going to get the optimal image quality. And to control the aperture of the lens, you have the dial here with the 2 grips on either side for the aperture control. And A is for automatic, and then all you have to do is change your aperture values by moving the ring, and then it changes in 1/3 stop increments, as you can see here. So a nice high quality lens to go with that high quality sensor. So with the X70, it is a fully manual camera. So there's full program automatic, aperture priority, shutter priority, and of course full manual. So to put the camera in program automatic, you just simply need to put the aperture to the A value, which is automatic, the shutter to A, and your ISO to automatic as well. So that ends up being your full program mode. So let me just put this into ISO auto. And there we go. So now we're technically in P mode. So you can see down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we're now in P mode. The minute you actually choose an aperture value now on the lens here, as you can see, it immediately goes into aperture priority. So you can actually see it here in the bottom right-hand corner. If you then switch the other way, where we're now here, we're on A, and here we choose a shutter value. Now you can see here we're in shutter priority. And then in full manual, it's just simply selecting the aperture and the shutter, and now we're in manual mode. And then you can also go into the Q button and adjust your ISO here, and that gives you full manual capabilities. So that's your PASM modes on the X70. So the X70 is equipped with a touch screen. So right now I've turned the screen off, but by default the camera does have the touch screen on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the touch screen. So you just go into the menus, and then you go into the setup menus here on the side. So I'm just going to go into the second menu here. And here you could see touchscreen setting is turned off. So we're going to turn that on. So now you'll see up here in the top right-hand corner a little box, and you can actually touch that box. So right now it's turned off, so nothing happens when I touch the screen. But if I'm in playback mode, I guess I should take a picture first. Here we go. And take a couple of pictures. There we go. And if we go back into playback mode, now I can actually swipe in playback mode. I can double tap to zoom, and I can of course pinch and zoom as well. So it gives you a little flexibility there on the playback, but in shooting mode, now it's turned off. I'm going to turn it on. So now this is on shot. So if I just press anywhere, it will focus and fire where I've touched. If I then change it to focus, now what this will allow me to do is move my focus point anywhere I want to, and then I press the shutter release halfway to then actually focus and then take my picture. So this little camera is equipped with a tilt screen, so it can tilt all the way down, as you can see, and it can also tilt for waist level type shooting, or it can actually tilt all the way around. So there you get the 180 degrees. So now you can see my face. And as you can see, when you are in selfie mode, the camera will automatically detect face and eye detection. So you can actually, I think you might be able to actually see that on the back screen there. So you can actually tell that it's detecting whichever eye is closest or whichever one it can distinguish. So best way to take your selfies is in this situation here is by kicking that in. By flipping that screen up. So having access to the tilt gives you one of the best selfie cameras around. So let's take a selfie. There we go, get the hand out of the way. There we go, so we took a selfie there. And then, there we go, there's the selfie. So it is equipped with a auto mode. So this is like a scene recognition mode, just like the X-T10. So when you flick this switch, it puts the camera into SR Advanced Auto. When you use the control dial now you have access to the different scene modes and not the teleconverter. Now, if you hit the side button here, the function button at the side, you will have access to being able to have the digital teleconverter instead. So now I do have access to it. So we're just going to go back to standard again. So by default now it will control the different scene modes. But one of the nice things about the Advanced SR Auto is that it will kick in things like face detection and close-up mode. So if I was to, so I'm just going to use a battery here as an example, and I get in nice and close. I don't want to get too far out of focus for you folks, but there you can see it goes right into macro mode. If it was a backlit portrait or a backlit scenery, here you're seeing some of the modes kind of kick in. It's somewhat detecting some faces. It's kind of hard with the distance and the depth of field of the camera for me to be able to really show you, but it will detect moving objects, a sunset if the right color temperatures are right. Like right now, for some reason, it is kicking in sunset mode because of the different varying light temperatures, but as you can see, it just goes into auto mode if the camera can't actually determine. You can, when in auto mode, you can do interval shooting, but as you can see, you are limited to things like ISO. You're not able to change autofocus setting, things of that nature. You can't do manual focus. You're limited on your autofocus mode, but you can turn off eye detection, for example, but you can prioritize your right and left eye. So you're limited in this situation as far as the camera controls. And this is ideal for situations where maybe you're handing the camera to somebody who doesn't know how to use a camera, or you just want to get the shot. It's not about, you know, trying to be the most creative. You just want to get that perfect shot. So that's what SR Auto allows you to do. So this camera does have a built-in teleconverter. To be able to have access to it, you do have to shoot in JPEG mode. Because it isn't a physical lens, it's actually a digital cropping, if you will, for lack of a better term. It doesn't lose the resolution. It does keep the pixel count, so there is some interpolation happening. But you still have access to things like your flash mode, regardless of what focal length you're at. So by default, the camera itself has the control ring here, and it immediately activates so that it's controlling your zoom. So all you have to do is just press it. So there's our 35 equivalent, and there's our 50 millimeter equivalent. So if we go back, there's our 28, and you'll notice the flash works, 35 and 50 millimeter. Now, you can change what the control ring does. So if you were to change that, then at that point, then it would just change to that mode. So you would then lose access to the digital zoom at that point. So the aperture ring is here, and just beyond the aperture ring is this little ring here, and it's our control ring. We can use it for different modes and different options. So we're just going to have a quick look. One of the options by default when you turn the camera on is that it will control your digital zoom, and we'll get more into that later. On the side of the camera, we have this little button, and it's one of the function buttons here. So if you press that button now, you can change the different options that you have for that control ring. So we can change it so that it controls ISO. So as I change now my different values, I can change the ISO value. If I hit that button again, I can then make it my white balance, and then same rules apply. So it will change to the different white balance settings. Hit it one more time. Now we got film simulation. We have the digital teleconverter as I showed you originally, and then standard. So it defaults to whatever option is in that mode. So if I'm in the SR Auto mode, which we'll elaborate a little more a little later on, and we switch over to SR Auto, when I change the control dial here, now it controls which shooting modes or scene selection I want to be in. So I could be in portrait mode, or I can be in SR Plus, or I can be in SR Auto, meaning it will automatically detect the scene all on its own. So the X70 is equipped with an intervalometer, just like all the other X series cameras. I'm just going to go into the menu here and show you how to set that up and how to do a quick interval shot. So here in shooting menu number 2, you'll see here the interval timer shooting. So you hit to the right, and then this gives you your different options. So in this case, we've got it set to every 5 seconds, and then number of times, I'm just going to do 4 shots. So we're going to end that. And then it's going to ask you when you want to start it, whether it be an hour from now or so on. So you can set up the camera and then let it start an hour from now, and then it'll start the time-lapse pictures. So I'm just going to hit OK to start this. So it's going to take the first picture, and then you can see the timer kicks in there. And then during that time, it'll then count down. But if the duration of the time, and you can see here how many shots of your sequences has been taken, what you can also do, if the interval is much longer, the camera will actually shut down. It'll go into sleep mode to be able to conserve the battery power. So that's how you do time-lapse interval shooting with the X70 digital camera. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them up in the comments section below, and feel free to follow us on Twitter @the Fuji Guys.